Relationships can be complicated. One moment, everything seems perfect. The next, your partner is pulling away. This can be confusing and hurtful, leaving you thinking, what went wrong? What did I do? And how can I fix this situation? In today's video, I'm going to provide 6 reasons why men pull away and how you can handle this situation. Very quickly, I am Emmanuel Smart and welcome. If the topic of relationship fascinates you, then kindly consider being a part of this community. Now, let's get into the video. When you are with a man and everything is going great, at least from your perspective, and then suddenly you notice that this man is pulling away from you and it confuses you, it makes you angry. Now, I'm here to tell you that this could be as a result of his fear of commitment. You see, ladies, some guys get very scared whenever they notice that a relationship is getting serious. This could be as a result of their past experiences. Maybe in their previous relationship, things didn't go so well, or it could just be that the pressure that comes to relationship is overwhelming this man. Understand that relationship is a lot of work, and sometimes people don't make it easy for themselves. So if you notice that your man is pulling away, he's just afraid, and the scary feeling of being in a committed and dedicated relationship is driving him away. So the only way to avoid those feelings is to pull away and back away from the relationship. So that is one reason why. Another reason why a man might pull away from you is a need for space. And I'm going to be frank with you, ladies. I'm guilty of this. You see, when people are in relationship, they tend to spend a lot of time together, enjoy each other's company, and that is beautiful. And for once, I don't understand those couples that are always doing everything together, having fun together. I really admire them because that is something I cannot do all the time. It just seems like I'm seeing too much of the person that I'm with. So from personal experience, I can tell you that if a man is pulling away a little bit, it's not because there's something wrong with the relationship. It's just a way for a man to reclaim his independence and find some time alone. So it is important that you understand this, that in a relationship, there should be a balance. There should be some time where you two can come together, spend time, enjoy each other's company. And then there should also be some time where you go your separate way, you leave, you try to embrace your individuality, you do other things other than just spending time together all the time. So I'm saying this to you ladies, that when a man pulls away, it is not always because there's something wrong with the relationship. It is just that he needs some personal space. That's all it is. Another reason why a man might pull away can be as a result of emotional overwhelm. New relationship, especially those ones, they can be a roller coaster of emotions, which is to say, one moment it seems so exciting and beautiful and it's something that you need, and then the next moment it starts to feel overwhelming. It starts to get really intense. Now, some men might pull away not because they don't love you anymore, or they don't want to be in that relationship. They might pull away as a means of processing all those emotion, all those adrenaline, without necessarily getting overwhelmed. But here's the problem, and here's the mistake, because a lot of men who have been raised in a certain type of way, who refuses to express their fear and their concern to women for the fear that they might be viewed as weak men or weak links, they tend not to communicate that. So I'm going to get to how you can handle some of those things, but I just want to say that when a man pulls away, it doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't want the relationship. He's just processing the emotion that is coming, from this new relationship. Another reason why a man might pull away could be as a result of external stresses. I want you to understand this, ladies, that there's also a life outside of the relationship. Some men are really poor at communicating, or some men are just bad when it comes to assuming what they think is best for the relationship. So there's a possibility that a man might be having some family problems. Maybe his parents are sick or something is going on and the family dynamics that he doesn't want you to know about, or it could also be as a result of his own personal ambition. Sometimes a man is working towards a certain goal and things are not just coming into fruition, and he gets very stressed, he gets very angry. Instead of explaining that to you, he just takes all the burden, all the problem, and then stores it in, and as a result, he pulls away from you. So the point I want to make here is this. Don't just assume that because a man is pulling away or he's not talking, he's keeping to himself, that means that he doesn't love you or he's no longer invested in the relationship. He is just experiencing some external stressor that he's refusing to tell you. Another reason why a man will pull away is due to unresolved issues in the relationship. I have seen couples, whenever they have problem, they just sweep it under the rug. And I always advise against that. When you have a problem, deal with it. Because it's just a matter of time. Someone's going to eventually lift up that rug and all your problems are going to surface. And at this time, it might even, be a lot more intense than if you guys would have settled the problem initially. So some men, what they do is that as a means of avoiding confrontation or as a means of expressing their dissatisfaction, they tend to pull away, which is wrong. But that is another reason why men might pull away, in a relationship. And the final reason I want to share with you guys is this. A man might pull away due to the differences in communication styles. I see this happening all the time. It just so happened that as human beings, we all have different personality and we have different way of talking. And a lot of people are not trained in the art of communicating effectively. So you might be with a man who prefer to talk in a very quiet tone, in a very cool and respectful manner. And some women, when they get angry, they lose their cool. They tend to shout, they tend to yell, they tend to be very expressive, and they let their emotions out. So as a means of avoiding all those things, the man might just pull away. Or it could be the opposite. It could be that the guy is just very aggressive and he doesn't want to hurt you. He doesn't want to say things that he cannot take back. So to prevent him from hurting you, he just withdraws and pulls away. So these are some of the reasons why men tend to pull away from women. And now I'm going to share with you how you can handle this situation. I'll give you some suggestion on what to do. The first thing I would recommend that you do as a woman is to give a man space. Whenever you notice that he's pulling away and you've tried to talk to him, you've tried to ask him, what is the problem? What is happening? What is wrong? And he's not saying anything, just give him space. Ladies, you need to understand that men are not like women. Men don't like talking about everything at every given time. There are just times where we prefer to internalize what is happening, and when we're ready, we'll come to you and, speak on our own terms. But you don't want to demand, you don't want to force him, you don't want to pressure him. Just give him some time, not too much time, but just give him ample time to process what is going on. And then later on, he will come and explain things to you. When you do this, trust me, except you're dating some guy that doesn't care about you. But if a man cares about you and he understands that you've given him time to process and deal with his feelings, he will appreciate you much more. And then number two, learn to communicate respectfully or even peacefully. I don't care how angry you are. You got to remember, when you're in a relationship, the goal is to always be there for each other. The goal is to try to be understanding towards each other's feeling. So when you are having a conversation with a man, don't say, you are always pulling away from me. Don't do that. Don't use the blame, the blame game. Don't do that. Just express how his absence or his pulling away makes you feel. So for example, I feel very sad. I feel very frustrated whenever you pull away from me. So that way you're not casting blames right away. Because if you tell a man you are always doing this, he's going to reply, or he's going to respond and say that you don't understand me. So it just turned into this accusation games. So you don't want to do that. You always want to communicate in a peaceful and calm manner and ensure that you're not angry. Just express yourself and then listen to what he has to say. Furthermore, if you guys are dealing with a lot of unresolved issues, I will greatly recommend that you try to find a compromise. That is all you can do. It is not about winning. Sometimes you could be right in a relationship, but you just have to accept that you are wrong, because you being right might hurt the other person's feeling. So you have to compromise. And if for whatever reason the both of you cannot come to a compromise, then I would advise that you seek professional help, because the therapists, this is what they are trained to do. They can find ways to help you guys get past your issues. It is important that you focus on self-care. You focus on the things that make you happy, the activities that you could be involved in that you actually find to be enjoyable. The reason why you want to develop a higher sense of self-care is because you don't want to become overly dependent on your partner. And I think I've spoken about this in other videos, that you have to maintain your individuality. You have to have other things that you can do, so that way you have a balance in a relationship and nobody is feeling overwhelmed. Furthermore, it is important that you remember to set boundaries. I've mentioned this a couple of times. So communicating effectively your expectations from a relationship is very much important. And also be mindful of your partner's boundaries, because relationship goes both ways. When you two can set and maintain a healthy boundary, it creates a better relationship for the people that are involved in it. Before I end this video, I want to say this. Dealing with a person that pulls away is very difficult. It's a very tough situation to be in. So you have to approach this situation with an open mind. You have to be willing to compromise, and then you have to develop the spirit of empathy. And sometimes this might not work. If it doesn't work, I will encourage you to seek professional help, because relationship is a lot harder than people actually think it is. And if you try all those things, you try to be understanding, you try seeking professional help, and things are not working out, there's a good chance that maybe this is just not the right man for you. I would advise that you go your separate ways and you find someone who's going to love you, who is going to be there for you, and who is not just going to pull away without any sort of explanation. I'm going to stop here, but I want to encourage you to please leave me your thoughts in the comment section. Share your story with me. If you have any question, I'm encouraging you to ask, and I will take my time to respond. Thank you very much. I will see you in the next video.